skip the break. We have to look at the reality of what we're facing and born to resist this. And it's the safest course to fight this. If this thing goes in, almost everybody's dead. And I'm going to play clips for you here in just a few minutes that tie into this. And I'm going to explain how the rollout's going to happen, how it's going to unfold, and the different layers to it. The layers of the people implementing it, but also the layers to the attack. Because we have the enemy blueprint. God gives us free will. God loves us and wanted to create creatures in his image, little g, not God's, but little g's. That's the Old Testament says that. And the Psalms. We're not like the New Agers, oh, we are God. No, we are not God. We are experiencing God, interfacing with God, and are little g's. So we're made by God. We're a little slice off the old block, little chip off it.
So what exactly goes on here? How did we get to where we are today?
Many cults reach a point where mass murder is inevitable.
It's the cult. I mean, it's the cult of cults. It's the cult of truth.
It is no different with the climate change cult.
Many people who are in the middle of Manhattan and have maybe never been on the other side of the Hudson River can have these ideas in their head somehow that we could eliminate fossil fuels. Well, it's a recipe for mass suicide. It's just quite amazing that someone that is in government, actually elected to the government of the United States of America, would propose that we eliminate all fossil fuels in 12 years. It would basically begin a process of cannibalization amongst the human species because the food could not be delivered to the stores in the middle of the cities anymore.
Recently at the 28th Annual United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP28, Pope Francis issued an apostolic exhortation to fuel the climate crisis psyop. These people won't stop until all life on planet Earth is no more, as they continue to ignore the science.
Are you seriously suggesting we should be pumping more stuff in, polluting the earth more, building more coal-fired power stations just so we can make sure that the CO2 levels are good?
No, I'm not, because we're putting plenty of CO2 into the atmosphere. We don't need to do it this quickly, but if we bring it up to a higher level than it is today, we will get immediately an increase in the growth of crops and trees, which is not a bad thing. This tendency to go in the rich countries to wind and solar is a giant waste of money. Those wind farms will rust in place, and there is no fun to decommission them when they either wear out or we decide how ridiculous it is to spend so much money for so little electricity that isn't even reliable.
The climate right now is no warmer than it's been many times throughout history. Our baseline is now the lowest that carbon dioxide has been in 600 million years.
That won't stop King Charles from demanding that U.S. taxpayers pump trillions of dollars into their organization in order to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Our grandchildren won't be asking what we said. They will be living with the consequences of what we did or didn't do. So if we act together to safeguard our precious planet, the welfare of all our people will surely follow. The earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth.
They're chemtrailing with aluminum dioxide all the world, killing the seeds, the plants, the trees, the insects dying. They've got the Hadron Collider, their own scientists that make it blow the earth up, the tests they're doing. They're the ones releasing GMO. They're the ones with the 5G. They're the ones saying cut down trees, carbon's bad. So everything he says is a giant lie, except we own the earth, you don't. It's ours. We are the guardians of the earth. He represents the earth while he's killing it.
While the annual president of COP28, CEO of the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, raised questions no one wanted to address.
Reports in The Guardian of your comments that there is no science behind calls to cut fossil fuels. Do you maintain this contribute to a loss of public confidence in this COP outside of the negotiating bubble here on site?
What I'm saying today, you have access to all of my public engagements. It's there. I'm not going to say anything new.
While John Kerry wants food production halted and millions to starve in order to worship his delusions.
Emissions from the food system alone are projected to cause another half a degree of warming by mid-century on the current course that we are today. And you just can't continue to both warm the planet while also expecting to feed it. Doesn't work.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia spearheads a $500 billion project to cram 260,000 people per square kilometer into a 110-mile-long, dense urban nightmare.
Imagine Neom as a prototype for a better future. A future for all. One being built to last. Sound good?
Adding to their misguided solutions is the use of carbon dioxide removal machines.
One of our plants does the work of 40 million trees. So if we're going to plant trees instead of doing our plants, we'd better get on with it. We better plant lots of them.
A scaled-up plant could do the work of 40 million trees, but only if the carbon were sequestered underground.
However, the potential leaks from storing carbon in underground reservoirs due to well failures, earthquakes, and big money ignoring potential regulations, the leaking CO2 underground in high concentration, combined with the coupled processing of poisonous hydrogen sulfide, could be massively catastrophic to life on Earth. A perfect target for potential terror attacks or false flag events, putting the extinction of targeted populations in the hands of New World Order psychopathic cults with a weapon of genocide lurking beneath our feet. John Bound reporting.
Yeah, just like the Hindenburg, it's explosive and concentrated. By the way, it's what plants breathe is carbon dioxide. New World Order builds planetary suicide machines. Very important report. But let's